You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
If you have not been tuning in before, my goodness, you've missed out on a lot. Broke boy, but with potential. What made you realize, this soft life is for me?
I deserve it. Because main money is special. I'm single.
But you don't like to be alone now.
I'm looking for a guy to break my heart. But as long as they're Nigerians now.
Watch Slay Queen Nigeria, only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
In H-Town, we want news that speaks truth, just like we do.
ADNC keeps me informed and him inspired.
We've been through too much to trust mainstream media. This feels like us.
From the D to the diaspora, ADNC is how I stay woke. We binge ADNC like it's Netflix, but smarter.
They speak on us, but never for us. ADNC does.
No fluff, no filters, just the truth, daily.
From Wall Street to 125th, we're watching our news.
Download the African Diaspora News Channel app today to stay connected to the culture.
That I didn't see my thing wasn't pressed. Sorry about that. Well, let's start over, right? It is what today is now, the 20th. It's the 20th. And oh God, hold on for a second. It's the 20th, and what I was trying to say was thank you for coming to the stream. And I was letting you know that September 1st, September 1, we will be releasing our latest book, So make sure you mark your calendars for our latest book, and I will provide a link for that. But I want to get some kind of like some advertising stuff done. So just give me maybe a few days, and we'll get that out for you. I haven't did a book, like I said, in 4 years. So that won't happen again. I promise you. We're going to be trying to get a book out every single year. Okay. So that's that. And, yeah, I didn't realize that my button wasn't pressed on my other screen. And that's what that was. You know how it is. Technology. But we're going to talk about your boy Trump tonight. Your boy Trump wants to get rid of, he wants to remove and alter slavery, actually, in the Smithsonian. And we want to talk about why does he want to do that? What is the issue with slavery, right? I know these people like the back of my hand. I told you this. That's why I have no problem writing books about them, because they're just too easy to talk about. And they moves, it's not even smart. Well, a lot of times what they're doing. So we're going to get through to that tonight. Those of you who are going on the Ghana trip, make sure that you take care, all your payments with that. And if you'd like to go to Ghana in November, it's $199 down. The pinned comment is there. I know some people be like, man, yeah, I just pay for it and just go, and hey, it'd be great to have you. You got plenty of room for you. So make sure to come join if you would like to go. You come for go 7 days and come on right back to the United States of America. Nobody's trying to keep you there, okay? And those of you who don't like to travel, just keep that to yourself, please. Because I told y'all before, I don't really have patience for people that say certain things like that, because why are you trying to persuade other people not to travel? I think that's silly. I really think that's silly. All right, so let me not take too long and get to this with y'all. So the way things fell today, normally LaSherica has a video at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the first time she will not have a video because I personally didn't have time to edit it. It's already rendered, but I couldn't really edit it. So I say, you know what? Because normally my editors do it. If it's something crunch time, then I'll do it. So just tonight she won't, because I just didn't have, by the time this is over, I won't have time. So not tonight, but it'll pick back up tomorrow night. All right, so let's get to your boy Trump. Let's start off with one of the main things that Trump said here. All right, now this is what Trump had to say. So your boy Trump say the museums throughout Washington, but all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was. I mean, what part of it was good? I'm trying to figure that out. I guess if you were white, it was good for you. And how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. We are not going to allow this to happen. And I've instructed my attorneys to go through the museums and start the exact same process that has been done with colleges and universities, where tremendous progress has been made. This country cannot be woke because woke is broke. We have the hottest country in the world, and we want people to talk about it, including in our museums. So nobody's going to talk about a trailer park, sir. Okay? Nobody wants to talk about a trailer park. Nobody is not even trying to even come to the trailer park. We're talking about actual tourism, because you basically have ruined a lot of tourism. Because let me tell you something. I keep thinking about that lady, and I say, man, that lady is the perfect representation of Stephen Miller for sure, and the Trump administration. Let me get to that lady. I would never forget this video. This is Trump and them right here. This is them. Let me make sure I play that video. I will never forget this video. This is the Trump administration.
Africa belongs to South African. I hate foreigner. I hate Krikamba. I hate Kwara. I hate Zai. I don't like foreigner. Foreigner must go to their country. I hate foreigners. I am xenophobic. I hate times and times. I don't know how many times. I hate foreigners. I am xenophobic. I don't like foreigner because foreigners, I don't have a child because of foreigner. Ramaphosa, take these foreigners to their country right now.
All right, that's the Trump administration's policy right there. That lady, I'm pretty sure he needs to invite her to the White House. Now, he's targeting the museums now. And how can he do that? He can strip federal funding from museums, right? So let's get to the articles here. Let's like we normally do. We're going to review it. Hold on. Let me go start here. We got maybe about 3 different articles to look at, and then we're going to get into our commentary. So let's just build our case up first. Give me a second. All right. NBC News. Trump says the Smithsonian focuses too much on how bad slavery was. Now, I told you before, when you're trying to run from your history, you're embarrassed of your history, it lets you know what kind of people you are. That's your legacy. Your legacy is horrible. Your legacy sucks. And you keep trying to run from what you did to get where you're at today. You should be proud of what you did, but you're really not. And you really think that removing artifacts, trying to stop museums from talking about slavery is going to, like, all of a sudden people will stop talking about it. But let's continue here. So it says Trump said Tuesday that he ordered his attorneys to conduct a review of the Smithsonian museums, calling their portrayal of U.S. history too negative. It's history, sir. It's history. And this is what your people have done, okay? And focus too much on how bad slavery was. Trump said he was subjecting museums to the exact same process his administration has conducted of universities with the goal of making the Smithsonian less woke. It said White House official told NBC on Tuesday that the Trump plans to extend his review of museums beyond Washington-based institution, saying the president will hold the Smithsonian accountable and then go from there. It said Trump, of course, you know, we read what he wrote earlier. He said the Smithsonian did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The White House to wage war on several colleges and universities, put millions in federal funding from schools like Harvard, Columbia, and Brown, alleging they fostered anti-Semitic climates and lowering the hammer on their diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives. Some of the schools have reached agreements with the administration, walking back some of the DEI efforts, pledging to comply with federal policies, and in some cases paying the government hundreds of millions of dollars, because he's finding these universities as well. And so the Trump administration last week began conducting an unprecedented review of exhibits at the Smithsonian ahead of the country's 250th anniversary in an effort to make sure they comply with Trump's vision of history. It says Smithsonian received a letter by the White House Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought last week, instructing officials at 8 of its museums to turn over information about exhibits and plans to commemorate the country's 250th anniversary within 30 days. It instructed officials to implement content corrections. Okay. Now, y'all was talking about the Democrats and saying that they believe in censorship and all of that. Look who's censoring. It said what necessary, including replacing divisive language. Now, I say NBC News found in May that at least 32 artifacts once displayed onto display at the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture at the National Mall were removed, prompting questions from historical leaders. One artifact includes a book belonging to Harriet Tubman, which is filled with hymns she was believed to have sung when she was leading enslaved people to freedom. Now, it says Smithsonian comprised of 21 museums, 14 education and research centers, and a zoo, and it's the world's largest complex of its kind. And they say the bulk of its funding comes from Congress. All right. So this, but they talk about what it curates, the process of that is supposed to be independent. Now let's look at this here. Talking about Trump's chilling effect is coming from museums. Now through here they're talking about how historians and researchers are expressing grave concern about Trump's push to purge museums of information he dislikes, all white supremacists in general. That such political interference stands to impose a single and flawed view of American history onto the Smithsonian, placing on risk the integrity and accuracy of historical interpretation. That's by a Sarah Wexel. Okay, she's the director of the American Historical Association. Now, Wexel said that she has been fielding messages of concern, not just from fellow historians, but also from people with no professional affiliations. Many of them are parents who are concerned about the Smithsonian's future. Others are frequent museum visitors. It's on Tuesday, Trump called museums the last remaining segment of woke. We are not going to allow this to happen. He seemingly followed up, on last week's letter with the White House and former Smithsonian institution of the content review. And so what he's doing, I mean, this is nothing new, okay? Now, if you look at Germany, okay, and what did Adolf Hitler do? He burned books. He got rid of books, and that's just really what it is. Now, let me get into why. Why is he doing this? Now, you may say, oh, because of racism. That's too simple of an answer. That's too simple of an answer. I believe it's maybe threefold why this is happening, ladies and gentlemen. I believe this is happening for one main reason. This administration wants an emotional, epic showdown with Black Americans. I'm talking about a George Floyd type of showdown with Black Americans. They've been. Have you noticed? And a lot of Black Americans have been clocking this. Have you noticed? Like they just keep trying to poke the bear, and they keep trying to poke the bear. First, think about it. Okay, you go to D.C. You know, D.C. is predominantly Black people. A lot of Black people in D.C. Black mayor. I mean, now I'm just mentioning that she's Black. I'm not saying that she's Black and doing anything for us. The city council, things like that. Okay, Black people. So he's going to go but literally doing stop and frisk on everybody who's not even claim is about criminals, but then people just walking down the street, you're messing with them, right? And shame on you Black police officers who are going along with that. Shame on you for that, right? This is why the Black community don't trust a lot of you in law enforcement, because in order to be in law enforcement for the most part, or even their military, you have to be mindless. You can't think. You got to follow orders. There you go. And if you're not good at following orders, in other words, being mindless and just doing what they tell you to do, or well, I got to do my job or whatever, and not do things based on what's right, even by the law, the Constitution, or whatever. This is why a lot of Black people look at you funny style. I'm not saying all Black police officers are bad people, but have y'all really helped us traditionally in our community? No, you really never have. That's why a lot of Black people look at you funny. I'm not saying some of y'all haven't been good people, but traditionally y'all have just really been a cog in the system. You know, what Ice Cube said, Black cops showing out for the white cop. Look at what happened with Tyree Nichols, right? It was all kind of Black cops. Now, some of them were foreign, but still, they're still Black cops doing the bidding of this system. But he wants a confrontation. Stephen Miller, he's definitely a hateful SOB. They want a confrontation with Black people. They listen. They need, y'all don't understand. They so starved of our energy. I'm telling you, they need our energy, and we're not giving it to them. The most they're getting out of us is just what we may say online, but we're not out there. We're not out there protesting. That we're not out there doing anything. We just chilling in our house. We living our life. We doing our thing, right? And they can't stand it. They doing what they doing here in Texas with the maps, doing everything they can to try to piss Black people off, right? They got a case coming up trying to gut the Voting Rights Act even more. They're trying to get Black people upset. They want Black people outside. Now you may say, why do they want Black people outside? Why are they doing this? They want Black people outside because they want to unleash the most heinous police brutality and government brutality America has haven't seen since the 60s. But you can't do it if Black people are not even out there. You can't do it. Now, they thought that when they started doing what they were doing in D.C., a bunch of Black people are going to convene on that city and that they can get the fight they want, but the Black people there are just kind of handling it on their own. That's the thing. We only come together when there's a need. We are strong people. There's enough Black people in D.C. to handle that. And that's a walk in the park anyway, what they're doing. That's not nothing we haven't experienced or haven't seen before. But they want this confrontation with Black Americans. They want it. Because, see, think about it. When they go after the immigrants, they're running from them. They're running from them. They're trying to hide all of that. That's not really a win for them, right? That's not even fun. Yeah, you know, you can be a bully, ha ha ha, yeah, I'm making a run, I'm doing this, but no. That demon in them, they got to fight with us. It don't mean much if you're going to really get the immigrants out. No. Even the so-called gang members that they have, they're not fighting them. They getting picked right on up. But when it comes to us as Black Americans or FBA, they know they're gonna have they want that smoke. They want it, and we're not giving it to them. And you know why we're not giving it to them? There's no reason to. We are not even in y'all way. Do whatever you want to do. We don't care. Because listen, Trump administration, listen to me. You can go to every Smithsonian and take every piece of slavery out or every piece of anything that makes white people look bad out. And in a few years, you're going to be gone. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a Democrat that's going to be back in office. And if the Democrat get back in office, he is going to put the stuff right back that you took out. So, are you really hurting somebody by taking it out? Also, the Smithsonian, it's not Black owned. It's not. So, I mean, sure, you can cut their funding off, but we don't own the Smithsonian. Our everyday life and lived experience isn't about the Smithsonian. So, I mean, you can go mess with it all you want. Because messing with slavery, he's trying to get an emotional response. So, mess with Black people in D.C. Now you're trying to get rid of, mess with Black people's history in the talking about, because it's making us look bad. Do you realize you saying that make you look bad? Let's go back to what he actually said. Let's put that. Hold on. Let's put this back up on the screen. He says the Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is and how bad slavery was. That alone makes you look so horrible before any person throughout the world. That right there. Most human beings will say slavery in any form is bad, okay? And for you up here to sit up here and try to litigate anything with slavery outside of what's history, it makes y'all look worse. And I told y'all, the longer they are in office, the longer this man is in office, he's literally taking them down in the country with him. Because let me tell you something else. Why he's taking the country down with him. Have you noticed the majority of white people not really pushing back on that either? Have you noticed that? I told you, the majority of white people may not be screaming and take the actions that Trump will take, but a lot of things he's doing, they agree with it. They agree with what he's doing in D.C. They agree with it. They're not screaming and yelling. Where are your white liberal friends screaming about what he's doing in D.C.? Do you notice they're not saying much about it? They may make a tweet or two. They may try to make it look good, but they're not doing anything, right? You remember when they had the immigrant kids in cages, and AOC and Sheila Jackson Lee was all down there crying and all the photo ops of any of that. Do you see AOC or Jasmine Crockett or any of them in D.C. right now? Out there with those Black people? Well, it's a Congressional Black Caucus being out there in D.C. They're right there. They're literally right there. Why aren't they out there talking to those police? Why aren't they standing up for Black people? You notice the Congressional Black Caucus is nowhere to be found? Have you noticed that? The Democrats are just fine with what Trump is doing. And we see that. Listen, Trump is exposing all of y'all. He is. With the colleges and universities. The Democrats didn't stand up against Trump with that. They let him do it. Yeah, Cory Booker gave a 30-hour speech in Congress for nothing. For nothing. Literally for nothing. That was more so his vanity, right? But I'm telling black people, let him remove it. Take it. You cannot take away the history. You can't take away our lineage. You can't take away what our people have done in this country. Take any exhibit you want. We don't care. We really don't. We're not going to get up in arms about you doing whatever you want to do in the museum. Because black folks trying to pay their bills, bro. Black folks are not thinking about a museum. Black folks trying to feed their kids. They are not thinking about a museum. We're not thinking about that. Now, let me touch on the second point. Why they're being so aggressive against history or looking bad. They, as you know, their numbers are dwindling. And their numbers are dwindling and they're panicking. A lot of them lost their lives with this fentanyl, too. Why do you think Trump is trying to get so aggressive now about the drugs coming in? Because you know why? See, this is the thing. White America, listen to me. You let all that cocaine come in this country, and you let that mess go into my community. It was your fault why the crack epidemic took off. Because black people don't have no planes, no speedboats. Black people for sure wasn't getting passports like that back then. So you can't say they were traveling and trafficking it themselves. You're putting all the drugs in our community. Got us hooked to crack. Then after we got hooked to crack, we were mass incarcerated. You come up with 3-strike laws, right, Joe Biden? But yet, when it's his people's turn to deal with an epidemic of that fentanyl and all that opioid stuff, that's targeting their community. If you do the research, you will see it's wiping them out. Literally wiping them out. They're not having babies. The drugs are wiping them out. They then as this economy gets tougher and tougher for them, if you go back to the time of the Great Depression, when they have to be relegated to the struggle of black people, or maybe worse, they don't deal with that too well. And a lot of people was unaliving themselves at that time period. We're talking about American history. Look it up yourself. They don't do too well with struggle. They really don't. So their numbers are dwindling fast. So now Trump not going to really be here when all this stuff really go down. But how they think about, what about my kids? What about my grandkids? What kind of world they going to be living in? I may not be here, but what about them? That's how they think, right? Well, if everybody is so still turned up on you, this is what they know naturally is going to happen. 'Cause it's naturally going to happen. They know this. When they become the minority, what they fear is black folks getting their lick back. What they fear is black folks having these numbers over them and say, oh, okay, well, everything you did to us, discriminating, treating us bad, now it's your turn. That's what they're worried about. That's what they're afraid of. This is why they don't want the younger generations to even know about the atrocities of what happened to black people. And not only black people, whether it's Native Americans, Latinos, Asians, every group can look at that group of people and look at the atrocities they've done to their country. And then when they become the minority, listen, let me tell you something. The greatest thing they fear is what happened in South Africa. They fear being a minority. They don't want to be in a South Africa situation where you have them not in leadership like that, like talking about laws being put down on the books for black people, and they in the minority. Yes, in South Africa, they still have some advantage, but the numerical issue, because they know if black people was to turn up on them in South Africa, they have a problem. But they don't have the numbers at all. And now South Africa is not as violent as this country. It's not. So with the violence that's in this country, and this violence is really perpetuated by them because they create a culture of violence because that's in their culture. They believe this is why they want to hold on to a gun so much, because that's their culture. They feel that if I can't have something that I can grab to quickly harm or take the life of a person, animal, or whoever, then I can't live. I have to have something that I can grab to harm somebody. You understand? And unfortunately, because we live in this country, some of our people have adopted some of their white ways. That's why some people outside this country may call us white in the mind. Because some of us do act like the white man. Oh, yes, some of us do. Some of you talk just like him. And you may get offended if somebody outside this country tell you that. But no, that's actually true for some of you. And you don't even realize you're talking just like him and acting like him. Unfortunately. Right? So they feel that Eric says we don't even have that spirit, though. Eric, do we really not have that spirit? Let's think about it, Eric. Some people don't have that spirit, but some people do. In people's personal life, when they've been a victim of something, and then now they got a chance to get payback and revenge, some people do it. Not everybody be a bigger person about things. They do it. Think about it. How many black parents have lost their children at the hands of these people? Mass incarcerated them on lies. And then when they get in a position later where this is what they fear. But their fear is actually, I used to dismiss that and think like you, Eric. But reality speaking, these new black people, I don't believe they're going to have that attitude. Because see, them black people you're talking about, Eric, it's them black people that was going to church and taught to turn the other cheek and all of that. These kids today, and even the adults, even up to my age, it's not in a church house like that. So they're not being taught to turn the other cheek. They being taught to slide on the ops. That's what they being taught. And we know they have been our ops for what? Over hundreds and hundreds of years? Hundreds of years they've been the ops. Oh, that hurt. Ooh. Muscle cramp. Ooh. Anyway, they've been our ops for hundreds of years. Yeah, they think about that. They do think about that. That's why they in the first administration, he wanted a bunch of people from Norway to come here. And the people from Norway were like, I'm not coming to that trailer park called America. I'm good over here in Norway. I get free health care. You don't. Why would I leave Norway when I can go to the doctor and not pay nothing? Then you got people paying for insurance. Then the insurance in this trailer park can deny you and tell you, no, we're not paying for that. But you're paying a premium every month to these people, but they can tell you, I'm not paying for your surgery, sir. Ma'am, you know what? I'm going to cancel your insurance. Okay, well, give me all my premiums back and we good. No, they don't have to give you nothing back. Why would anybody get free health care come to this trailer park? Why? Most white people that's in Europe, they not trying to come live over here. Even the Boers from South Africa then got over here, and guess what? They want to go back. And I said that when they got here. I said, you left South Africa, you got it good over there. I'm telling you got it good over there. And a lot of them see it. Now they like, oh man, it's hard to live in America. And I don't like it over here. Like, oh, they want to go. A lot of them want to go back to South Africa because South Africa wasn't that bad for them. Trust me, it was a paradise for them. It's the reason people get sick so much over here. It's the reason people got so much stress. This place is a freaking racist trailer park. And they don't want no change. They don't want to change anything. They're fighting so much to hold on to power and the system, or the whole time they destroying everything. Because you got to think about it. Everything they touch, they ruin. You can go from the animals to plants to the environment. You ruin everything. No matter what person has helped build up something for you, because you didn't build it on your own, you still find a way to ruin it. This is not me saying it. It's documented history that show that you ruin everything. There are animals that are extinct because of you, not because of everybody else. That's right. Stang. Turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. Them days are over. You had a whole generation of black people that was very nice to you, that wanted to turn the other cheek, wanted to pray for you, wanted to believe that you would repent. And look at how you treated those black people. The civil rights generation was your last generation of grace with black people. This generation, you have no grace. The grace is gone. Because we've seen with you how you treated our grandmothers and grandfathers to try to give you some grace. You still was racist as hell to them. They wasn't sagging their pants. They wasn't getting a bunch of tattoos. They wasn't carrying guns. They were going to church. They wasn't even cussing like that. They participated in voting, right? They voted. They did. They got education, or they worked a good blue collar job. They did just about everything that y'all want black people to do, and you still gave them hell. So the children of that generation would say, like, I'm not about to do any of that mess. The children of this generation don't even go to the church, not because people don't love God, but it's like this in the Bible. Jesus wasn't in the temple. He was outside with the people. He wasn't in no temple. That's number one. Number two, we realize that church entity. Now they have some few churches that's cool and putting out the truth, and I support them. But that entity has been used to just funnel us into the Democrat Party. That entity has been nothing but draining resources from the black community and not giving nothing back. So we're much smarter than that now. Like, nah, I'm not giving you 10% of my income. I'm keeping my money. If I want to do 10%, like, first of all, God don't need no money from me. God don't need paper. God owns the whole universe. What paper gonna do for him? Now, I can be an extension of God's hand to others by doing something great that he put on my heart to do, being giving when he puts on my heart to do it. But when God wants you to do something, he put on your heart, you just do it. I say this much. You want to do 10% of your income? Well, give 10% of your income to a struggling family or something. Somebody that's maybe the working poor who's maybe their light's about to get cut off, but they work every day. Okay, well, you help pay their light bill one time or something like that. Or shoot, give 10% of your income to a waiter or a waitress that's serving you very well. Give 10% of your income to them. Like, give it to people who's actually, I believe, my mindset is believing in helping the working poor, because they're actually trying. They're not looking for their handout. They're trying, and they just falling short. So if you want to do 10% of your income to help somebody, help those people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got a single mom with some children. She's trying her best, but she's just falling short. Okay, give 10% of your income to her then, to help out. If you so choose to do that. Like I say, be the extension of God's hand to somebody else. You don't give it to these preachers. These preachers, man, your church is one of them that's actually doing for the community. That's different. But we know the Creflo Dollars and all them other ones. No. I don't want to go to no church that's not addressing the issues in society, that's not calling these people out. Because Dr. King was a preacher, and he called these people out. Malcolm X was in the nation. He was calling these people out. The history of our people is calling these people out for what they do and showing how by the word of the Lord, how they wrong and how God gonna deal with them. I told y'all a long time ago, we're not getting another Dr. King. That's not happening. We're not getting another Malcolm X. It's not happening. Because when we had Dr. King and Malcolm X, it wasn't us that took their life. It was them. And their message was to actually help save them, even though you say, oh, they're fighting for our community, but they're actually helping, like, listen, stop what you're doing. Treat our people right. You're wrong before God. You're wrong. But they don't care. Listen, it's been so many people, no different than the Bible, when they say God sent John the Baptist. God, in the Old Testament, God sent his prophets. He sent prophet after prophet after prophet. And then after a time, God stopped sending his prophets, and then certain destruction. But they say before God do anything, he will always send his prophets. The Bible teach that. And what the Bible teach, God does not change. There's been so many prophets that has been sent. You may not have called them prophets, but Dr. King, he was sent. Malcolm X was sent. Minister Louis Farrakhan was sent. You know, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she was sent. You got people like Dr. Claude Anderson, he was sent. Neely Fuller was sent. So many people were sent to tell these people. And a lot of these people have passed on. Some of them are still here. Look at how they treated Minister Farrakhan. Just because he wanted them to treat black people right, they demonized Minister Farrakhan. You ain't caught Minister Farrakhan in nothing. Trust me, they wanted to catch him in something. They never caught him in anything. They hated the minister. Okay, you don't want to go with somebody hardcore like the minister. Even Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson at one point in time was doing a lot of good things. He was. Some things we could disagree with, but some things he did do that was right. Jesse Jackson was one of them that can go talk to Saddam Hussein. A lot of black leaders can go talk to these other world leaders, and these folks couldn't stand it. That they would rather receive Minister Farrakhan or Jesse Jackson to talk to him than the American government. They hated that. Oh, well, why are they talking to them? They're not the government. That mess of their ego. They can go get hostages. And even when Brittany Griner got in trouble, brothers right here were like, hey, let me go holler at Putin, man. I can go holler at him, get her out. Oh, no. Who is it, Roy Jones? I believe Roy Jones could have got out. But Biden didn't want him to do that. Because Roy Jones and Putin is cool. He gave him Russian citizenship as well. I seen the interview that he was over there talking with Putin. You think he couldn't have howled at Putin for Brittany Griner? They hate when we have any kind of international sway. They hate that. Yeah, y'all mentioned a lot of people. Muhammad Ali, Khalid Muhammad, Stokely Carmichael, Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton, Huey P. Newton, Shahrazad Ali. It's so many. You say Al Sharpton was when he wore the perms? Yeah, he was, but like I said, man, I wish that Al Sharpton comes back. Like, shoot, this Al Sharpton, man, give us back the Al Sharpton with about 100 more pounds and the track suits and the perm. That's the Al Sharpton I like. Where the track suits at, man. Al Sharpton was about the business back in the gap. But you know what? And I don't want to. I said to myself, I don't want to do that either. Be cool, and everybody look back and say, "Man, what happened to you, bro? Like you didn't just." And I get at the same time, I can get it because it gets to a point you're like, man, but you got to just keep on keeping on, or move to the side and let some younger people step in that place if you're tired. You ain't got to sell out. Yes, Roy Jones, the boxer. Yes, Roy Jones Jr. Yes, the boxer. Yes, Putin did give him a citizenship. You know about that? Just like you remember with North Korea, Dennis Rodman was going to go over there and help out. Because Kim Jong-un is cool with Dennis Rodman. They hate that. Boy, they hate that. They don't like us to have any kind of international, but that's okay. It don't matter what they don't like. The fact is they had a lot of prophets come their way, and they jailed them, smeared them, took some of their lives. Okay? That's why they're not getting no more. There's no more. Now, at time in the Bible, he also sent prophets to preach judgment. First you get grace, first you get a warning, then the next prophet is going to come after that. It's going to be speaking judgment and how it's going to come down on you, and that's how it's going to be. And where they at right now is the judgment phase. And they're scurrying to try to think they can escape judgment, because this is the issue with them. They are so prideful. That's their downfall right there. It's being proud. Instead of just conceding and say, what can I do to fix it? No, they're going to double, triple down on what they're doing and saying. They're going to get worse with their racism. They're going to get worse with their just anti-foreigner. They're going to get worse. Listen, I tell any of my international friends, don't come here. Don't come to this trailer park. Wait till this man get out of office. If you want to come here, go to Canada. If you want to go somewhere, go to Canada. That's like America light. Go to Canada. Go to Latin America. Go to the Caribbean. Go to the Caribbean. Go visit the brothers and sisters on the continent, whatever. But don't come here. I'm telling you, don't come here. You come here at your own risk. Because when I seen on TV that white Canadians was getting jammed up at the border, white Canadians, I say, okay, this dude is really on one. What did Canadians do to America? Canadians haven't done anything. Canadians not flooding this country. Why are you treating Canadians like that? It doesn't make sense. So that's what I'm saying. And they wonder why the tourism down is in Vegas. Well, that's twofold. One, Vegas is literally trying to rob you. Literally. Their whole system is just want to charge people for parking, things that it was just free. That's one. And then two, the tourism is down. And if you don't believe the U.S. tourism is down, talk to people that is involved with tourism. They'll tell you, we're not having work like we used to. Why? Because of him. Who wants to come to anybody's country and get interrogated? Nobody wants that. It happens to their friend or family member, and they may get out of it, and they call and say, hey, don't come over here. Don't come to the United States. No. Leave that place alone. Leave it alone. And that's all what he chose to do. Now, I thought it was about illegal immigration. Okay, well, now you messing with tourists who got visas? Then he don't want no black folks from Africa coming over here for sure in a lot of countries, because now I think in certain countries he wants them to have $15,000 in the bank, and they have to give the $15,000 from what they're saying to the U.S., and when they leave, they give them their money back. Let's call it what it is. Most Americans don't have $15,000 in their bank account to give anybody. Most Americans, you hear me? Now, if I was a leader of a country, Nigeria or wherever, and they put that rule on me, then I'm going to reciprocate. Okay, well, see, I'll be different. If I was an African leader, I would come up with two laws. I would have a diaspora law that says that the diaspora could come visa-free, and this is based on African lineage. It's based on African lineage, and that's what it would be. So I'm not making it about nobody's color or nationality. I'm basing it on African lineage. If anybody's from the diaspora or any African country want to come, it's visa-free. Come on. But if you're not part of that lineage, then $15,000. Well, they say the black people can go for free? No. There's no such thing as black here. We're doing it by lineage. That term black came from you. You created race. Race is a social construct you used and you created to put people in this caste system. That's all they have to tell you. We don't go by race here. We go by lineage and nationality. And the people in the diaspora that was a descendant of slaves is part of the lineage of here. Now, if you don't agree with that or not, then that's you. I don't care. You can believe you're a dog if you want. I don't care. But to those people who actually believe in anthropology, science, and everything else, history, then you know that's what the lineage connects to. So that would be a perfect law if you actually have some real African leaders. But the African leaders are the CBC too, okay? The CBC is no different than African politicians. They all the same. That's why when I tell you that a lot of y'all think you're different, you're really not. We have the same problems all over the world with black folk. I've seen it. It is ridiculous to charge them, but he's doing that to not allow them into the country. And that's okay. I tell them, chill your nerves in your homeland, as many countries you can go visit. And when he's out of office, come on right back. Because 9 times out of 10, I keep telling y'all, it's going to be a Democrat. The Democrat's not going to be. Listen, I believe a Democrat is going to get back in there because Trump is he's going to get people to go put a Democrat back in there. I'm telling you what he's doing right now. And he's not getting any better. He's going to get people. Listen, there's so many people that's going to register and try to get, they not going to want no J.D. Vance. They're not going to want no Marco Rubio or any of them people connected with him, with Trump, right? They going to be radioactive. The Republicans are going to have a time. Look at what's happening here in Texas. That also can backfire on the Republicans here. Because people can be like, you know what? We don't like what y'all doing them maps, man. Just because Trump said so? No. And that makes a lot of people think here in Texas. You know, at one point in time, Texas wasn't red. I remember we had Governor Ann Richards. She was a Democrat. And Texas was a blue state at one point in time. It was. But we have certified idiots right now. And they're all mindless and following Trump. And listen, you can be a Republican and stand on your business and stand on your square. You ain't got to follow everything Trump say. Yeah, the Great Black Shark, they're doing too much. They're doing way too much. You going to have people that sat on you going to have people that sat on the couch. They're going to actually get off their couch. Why? Because you're doing too much. You're doing way too much. Okay, the illegal immigration, okay, cool. You know, the men in women's sports, okay, cool. Men going to women's bathrooms, okay, cool. No problem. But you just firing a bunch of people from the federal government and a lot of black people lost their job, they're not going to be too happy about that. The Smithsonian, what you're doing in D.C., just doing stupidity. It's going to get people like, yeah, let me go on and get this dude on out of here. That's what happened in the 2020 election. That's how we got Joe Biden, if you remember. We got Joe Biden because he was doing too much. It's worse now. He's really, I think he's worse at doing things now. And they know that's going to happen. This is why they're trying to cheat in Texas. Well, give me 5 more seats. That's cheating. So it makes Gavin Newsom, he's trying to be the Democrat version of Trump, right? And I'm paying attention to everything Gavin Newsom is doing. So he's trying to be the president. I already see it. He's trying to be the next president. I seen some black folks talking about it, I think today. Man, I like what he's doing. I'm going to probably vote for him. I seen some black people saying they're going to vote for Gavin Newsom. I seen it. Y'all can say, oh, that's not going to happen. Listen, Trump is literally going to give that man a lane. And the Republicans. So in the midterms, historically, whatever parties in power, they usually lose the House and the Senate historically. When Obama was in office, it happened to him. When Trump was in office the first time, it happened to him. When Biden got in office, it happened to him. That's usually how it goes. But I think it's going to be horrible for Trump the way it's going. That's why they're trying to cheat now. Now he's talking about an executive order to stop mail-in ballots. He's trying to do that on a federal level because they fear the midterms is going to be so horrible for them next year. Why? Because look at what they're doing. Let's go back to D.C. All the black people in D.C., a lot of them may say, you know what? Yeah, let me go vote in these midterms. Look what this fool got going on in my city. Just saying. Then when the one big beautiful bill come online, all them cuts start happening to social services and hospitals start getting closed in the rural areas and all of that, where a lot of these white Republicans live, a lot of them going to be motivated to go vote also in the midterms. I just see it coming. I've been doing this too long not to see it coming. Speaking about Georgia, you got your girl Keisha. Keisha running for she's running for governor of Georgia. Keisha Lance Bottoms. How y'all feel about that in this time period? How do y'all feel about Keisha running for governor? She wants to be the governor. I think she got a better chance than Stacey Abrams had. This is my opinion. But how do y'all feel about her? Will black people come out and vote for Keisha Lance Bottoms? Especially in this climate in Georgia, like how do y'all feel about that? Because Kamala Harris, if black people would have actually voted, like all black people would have voted, she would have won Georgia. So that means that there's enough black people there to maybe give Keisha Lance Bottoms the governorship, I guess. But how y'all feeling in Georgia about her? I think Great Black Shark, aren't you in Georgia? How you feeling about that? About Keisha? You're not really, okay, you live in Georgia. You're not really for her either. Okay, so who else is going to run with name? Because you got to think, with politics, name recognition means everything. So who else got name recognition over there? Because right now, what Trump is doing, it's a lane it's a lane that's been opening for the Democrats. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm independent. I'm not Democrat. But me looking at things and how it's going and all the anti-black, you got to understand who's really behind a lot of this anti-black stuff and Trump goes along with it is Stephen Miller. That is the architect of a lot of the anti-black racism. That dude is a certified Klan. That dude hate anybody non-white, especially hate black people. I'm telling you, I'm going to be talking about that fool tonight on the podcast. That's Stephen Miller. You can see the hate in him. That dude is hateful. So who you say it'd be an uphill battle? So who in Georgia you think they're gonna put in another Republican in this climate? I'm just curious about it because I don't know what black people's temperature in Georgia is. I haven't really talked to a lot of black people in Georgia, because you can't because it's like this. Okay, when he circled the block, spin the block on Fannie Willis, some people in Georgia may not like that either. Some people may not, but a lot of people overwhelmingly voted for Fannie Willis in the election. So you can't really say that people don't like her because they put her back in office overwhelmingly. Oh yeah, Laverne, you say you're waiting to see who else? Okay. Well, yeah, I may look into that too. Only one I know of right now is Keisha. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I just think she got the most name recognition. So we'll check that out. I'm pretty sure the Democrats is going to really get behind her and campaign. I'm pretty sure Obama and Gavin Newsom and everybody else probably going to be trying to campaign to get her in there. Oh, but you say there are male folks here in Georgia say we'll practice paying white supremacy and unite Democrat Republican to keep a black woman from the governorship. Well, I mean, if you know how voting works in this country, their votes are split. But they could unify against her. But we're like I said, only y'all in Georgia can figure that out. Because like I said, the black vote in Georgia, if that would have showed up for Kamala, she'd have won the state. Trump barely won Georgia, barely. So a lot of people said that out in our community. So I'm just saying, in this climate, do she have a better chance? The more and more things Trump do. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's overtime. Thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. And thank y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.